Hello everyone, we are 𝗦𝗫𝗰𝗵. I'm Bart. Here is Matt, Paul, Chris and Tom.
We got it today to showcase you our new cool game called Space Mechanics Simulator Prologue. The game is an introduction to the full version. We're going to show you what's going on in the game, what can you find in it, and together with Bart, we're going to answer your questions. So if you got any questions on chat, please send them to us. We will try to answer them and give you a satisfied answer. So I'm giving my voice to Chris. Chris is my developer of Space Mechanics Simulator, so he will talk more about the game.
Hey guys, I have been already introduced. Just to clarify, I'm the same Chris that some of you have met on the Discord. So anytime you have some questions or some comments about the game, feel free to contact me through Discord. And today I'll be presenting the gameplay, where we are currently, and talk about where we're heading with the game. And some of you have probably played the demo version of the game, so I'm gonna be making some remarks, comparisons to the demo version. And you probably noticed that we are taking a bit different direction with the game right now. So those will be also my remarks about differences between the demo version and our new vision of the game. And I'm hoping that you will like it. My job today will be pretty much playing the game on the stream, so thank you Matt for switching. I'm not going to spend time in the menu, menus are boring, but you can always go to the options and see what you can set. You will find some useful things there. Let's get started. The game takes us to space as a new employee of a corporation that performs a lot of tasks in space. That means we are living in a more commercialized space reality. So this is just another maintenance job. But what we want to achieve is to play a little bit about storyline. That's why we have some cutscenes. I'm gonna be quiet for a moment so you can guys watch it.
This is Senior Pilot Paul Prober from Shuttle Astro 9, reporting that we have reached Sector 𝗦𝗫𝗰𝗵. Over and out.
This is Astro 0212. I'm just starting preparations to make repairs to Solar 1 satellite. Over.
Good luck.
Thanks. Any advice?
Stay calm. Don't forget the drone. Talking Heads said he is crucial.
They always say that when they give us new toys. See you soon.
Welcome to your next AstrOpticon space mission. My name is
So a pretty short
I am a highly sophisticated
introduction cutscene. We don't talk much about who is who, but we can figure it out that we have our pilot accompanying us on our travels, and we have this drone that corporation assigned to us. You can just skip tutorials. This is a basic controls tutorials that you see in many games. I'm not gonna do it on stream.
now move towards.
But we did put a lot of effort in the tutorials and all the helpful things for the player. I hope you can guys appreciate it, and it will be good introduction to the game for you. Controls are pretty basic, standard I would say for FPS game, with one exception. We are in space. So we have a lot of inertia. Once we get going in one direction, I don't touch the controls, we're just gonna keep flying. This is already one difference from the demo, which approached this as basically FPS game. When you stop touching controls, you will just stopping in space. No inertia, no zero gravity sensations. Now I can just turn around and continue flying without touching controls. It takes some time to get used to. but I think it's a fun addition in the end. Especially that we have a slowdown key. If you get lost, if you just don't know where you're going, you need a moment just to stop and think. Just hold the key, slow down. And now we have our first task. Something is broken behind this panel. To make it easier for repairs, when we start working with panels, you could see the transition of the camera. You get locked in front of the panel. I can still move around, of course, but I'm somewhat limited to the panel. My UI has changed. I have now all the set of tools available for me. And this is one of the things we changed from the demo. Those of you who played the demo will remember that we were basically working with mechanical parts. We were detaching them, repairing them, attaching them. Now we have a more natural set of tools to work with mechanical devices. So first we introduce the screwdriver right here. And instead of just switching between attach and detach mode, we can just use the screwdriver on a screw and the reaction is as expected. You also have to get those little hints, what kind of tool you need to use. All those little things are important because they help player to avoid confusion what he's supposed to use for a given tool. So that's one of the changes. Another tool introduced is screwdriver, the wrench, sorry. So now you have another mechanical element. This is a little screw that you can use. You cannot use screwdriver on it. The icon clearly shows you need to use the wrench. Now, one of the observations someone made in the one of his streams that are screws and bolts turning the wrong way. I have to agree. Something slightly overlooked in the development, but in the end it's not a game-breaking thing. But if anyone was asking himself, are the screws and bolts in space turning the other way? No, they're probably not. So yeah, maybe sometimes it's not good to take games too seriously. Although we will definitely pay attention to those little comments, they are all precious to us. So when I find the time, I'm gonna certainly make sure that the screws are turning the right way. And again, let me remind what our friend Matt said in the beginning. I'm taking it slow. You can look at what I'm doing. If you have any questions about certain development ideas that we have for parts, or you have some comments, feel free to just contact us in chat. I'm not in a rush to complete the mission. I want to spend some time showcasing everything and having you guys the possibility to simply add comments, react to what I'm doing live. One of the things you have that is very helpful is this highlight mechanics. Since the game requests something to be done, it's gonna highlight things for us. But we are not limited by it. For example, this pipe on the right side, I can take it out. I'm not limited to what the game is telling me to do. However, if I don't put the pipe back in, the game will eventually detect that I haven't finished my job properly. So for now, since the game is storyline based, it works kind of like one big tutorial. We want to take it slow, not to try to make the players, force the players to make all the decisions. For some of you who are engineers, because I know that we have engineers interested in this game, this could be a bit too simplistic. But then again, we have to consider other players, so we're trying to find the right balance. So feedback from you is always important.
Hey Chris, I got a question from not from the chat, but about the VR. Will the game have VR support in the future?
Personally, I would love to add that because I think that would give us a lot of immersion. But then again, this is some development costs to consider, and I think if the game is very popular, it's gonna start doing well, then we can think about expansion of this game with new features. But for now, we don't have it planned in the pipeline.
But maybe later.
Maybe later. Like I said, it all depends how well the game does. If it does well, then like I said, I would love have VR in this game. I would love to experience space in VR because that will be probably very, very cool.
Especially we are taking the realistic approach to the game with the controls and using of all the tools.
Just think of the possibilities of actually using your hands to do all the repairs.
Yeah.
Holding the tools, diagnostic tools in your hand. That would be awesome. But that takes a lot of time to develop, and like I said, we are living in a real world with real constraints.
Yeah, and then we would have to think about the rotation of the screws.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
But that's a good question. Something that I also have in mind. VR for this game. It will be awesome. So I hope that we get there eventually. So, I have come in too fast. That's probably because the development version of the game has already increased braking power for the astronauts, so you slow down faster, and I'm not used to the public version still. This is the personal hub, another new addition that wasn't there in the demo version. It's still in the development, but right now what you see can already give you an impression where we are going with this. Let's take a break from what the game expects us to do at this point, and let's just explore this hub for a moment. We have this missions tab. It's not available in the prologue because right now we are following the script of the game, but in the full version we want to give a little bit more freedom to have like side missions that let you develop your skills, obtain new licenses, make money that you can spend on upgrades and things like that. We'll see where this is going, but we want to give player more freedom to choose his missions based on what kind of level of specialization he has, what he can do, where the mission is, would it cost him to travel there, and so on and so on.
So Chris, I got another question. How much realistic is the game? So could you tell us more about the approach? It's super realistic or not realistic? Could you tell more us about the approach that Space Mechanic got?
Yeah, that's a good question. I will definitely be talking a lot about it as I go in the game and touch specific subjects. But personally, I would love to go towards simulation, but not towards some extreme realism. For example, when you have some programmable logic controllers that can control a lot of stuff, I don't think they actually use those in space, but this is something familiar for people who have some knowledge of automation here on planet Earth. So that's why I included them. But if you think of it, those controllers, they have programs running in them. I don't think we should include programming of those controllers in the game. That would be realistic, but that would be too much of a step to overcome for many players. So, I will get back to those questions about realism, like I said.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Okay, back to the hub. The inventory is the biggest part of the hub, so I'll get back to it later. Messages, not yet, but because this will be in part with missions. You can receive messages, send messages, request things. It will not be very complex, but still useful. You can compare it to, for example, messages you received in the Mass Effect games that could just point you to some missions. the personal hub, personal tab. This could be interesting. I really encourage you to just browse to it, read about different level of licenses that you can get. This could give you some idea where we are going with this game. What will you be able to do? For example, let's talk about electronics. You have 3 levels, and depending on the level of your electronic expertise, you'll be able to just work with something simple as cables, and then up to things as complex as PLC devices. Astronaut, different levels of license. Recycling, that allows you to recycle simple parts or maybe complex parts. The same goes for printing. And this is how we want to set the pace of the game, when you have the freedom of flying from location to location. Some of the missions will require more expertise that you might not have yet, but as you progress, as you learn new skills, as you go through more tutorials and obtain new licenses, you'll be able to pick up more complex, more advanced missions. This way you can let the player pace through the game at the speed he's comfortable with. But in the prologue, just because we have a small subset of missions, just 5 missions, on one hand we are tempted to show as much as we can, but on the other hand we didn't want to turn 5 missions into one condensated tutorial. So let's get back to the inventory. Our inventory, so the items we have and the resources we have. The concept of resources is also new. For those of you who played the demo, you know that there weren't things like resources that you can spend on repairing and printing items. Then you can trade items with the shuttle. Why such a concept? Because when you send a shuttle to space, you probably have some spare parts. But why does an astronaut need to pay for them? Well, this is basically the cost of your repairs. You are in space, you can do repairs without buying parts because you can spend your own resources to print them, repair them. You will make more money than when you just buy replacements from the shuttle stocks because they are property of the company. You can use them, they are available for you, but it is less efficient, cost efficient way of working. You can also trade resources with the shuttle, or you can print items if they are available. Now the game has been triggering me from some time to go and trade the item. This is the pipe that we just took from the satellite and it needs repairing, so we repair it right here. Sorry, we need to buy it. We are not there yet. Now that we buy the part, the game is pointing out us back to the satellite. I noticed that people playing on the stream didn't sometimes pay to this center cursor. It's actually showing you the way to your objective. So something to keep in mind sometimes. So let's get the satellite repaired. Now you probably noticed we are in a different lighting setting that at the beginning of the mission. This is one of the little details that we also added. We are on the dark side of the Earth right now because we are constantly orbiting. The orbiting is right now very simple. We don't go north and south, we just orbit around the equator. It would be something that would be nicer if we just could have more realistic orbits. But right now it's nothing more than a visual addition to the game. So let's put the parts back in. Another little help here. The parts that can be possibly put in are marked in green. I can put the cover back in. Nothing stops me from doing that. Or I can put the pipe back in. But all other parts, if I try... Well, I can't put this part in. I haven't put the pipe yet. So we did a lot of work to just help you navigate through all this, all those parts. Let's put the pipe back in. Now I can see that I can put all those pipe parts as well, and they are now highlighted in green. It would be nice to have the same mechanics that we have for putting parts in, to have them taken out. Right now, if I want to take out the part, I just click on it. This can be a bit annoying, because when you want to put the bolt back in, you misclick and you take the part away instead. What I want to have here is just to take away part, you would have to drag it a little. It will be more consistent with the way we put them back in by dragging them from the inventory. And it will greatly help with the convenience of playing, because you will have less misclicks possible. Okay, we put everything back in. And now there's another addition that we didn't have in the demo. We had a lot of parts that we could dismount and put back again, but we didn't have any valves, anything that would just control the flows. So this is a new thing we are adding to the game. But because we took this direction of increasing the depth of the game quite recently, it's like 6 months, so in the time of development of the game, it's not that much. So we have to make some compromises. You can turn the valve, but it's all scripted. It's just the game demands this of you, but we don't yet have any liquid simulations in the pipes, anything like that. We would love to have them. This is the direction that we generally want to go towards, to make the simulations actually make more sense. But for now, we are actually curious what the people will say. If this is getting too complex, will they want more simulations or something more casual? And I'm happy to see that our poll reviews show that people are actually generally more towards simulation things. So I guess it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have this feedback from people. And now, let's finish this.
Chris, we have another question. What about the tools? Are you planning adding more in the future?
I think at this point we have already added some. We have like 5 basic tools. 2 are just for diagnostic. 1 is partially for diagnostic, partially for operation, and 2 are just for mechanical parts. Now, more tools. Sure, it would be great to add them, but for now it will be more important to make the simulation working correctly, so that the current tools you have, especially the diagnostic tools, will start to be more and more useful. Because right now you are being told, which you will see in the next panel, that you are just being asked to use the infrared camera. You don't really, as a player, find that need yourself. The game is guiding you, and because this is just a first mission, it's gonna be our second repair when we already start using diagnostic tools. So this will be too early for a player to figure it out on his own. Not for every player. There are engineers who play this game, and I know they will know what to do with infrared camera. But we need to get the simulation right before we start asking players to do their own diagnostics. So right now we're just showing you the tools, letting you play with the tools, see how you like them, but they don't have that much real value right now, other than letting you see where the game is going and giving us the opportunity to get feedback from you. So now the game is asking us to repair. Sorry, I got lost in translation. No. I was supposed to go and replenish my suit resources. I got lost in thoughts. So our service station Very nice model, but very simple functionality. You just hold your button on it and you see all the resources on the right side of the screen replenish. We already have a nicer functionality here with some feedback sounds and flashing lights, but it's gonna be in the next update.
You have finally managed to fix the problem. That's not all. The station is still reporting.
Okay, let's get back to
problems.
the station.
It is likely that the fusion cell has been damaged, which is located on the other side of the satellite.
So if you like sci-fi, you will find many Easter eggs in our game, especially in the dialogues. We put a lot of effort into putting some cool secrets, like from Star Wars or from other old sci-fi movies. So if you are a fan of science fiction, you will definitely pick them up during the gameplay. Guys, the game is free, so if you wanna play it, just go on our Steam page below, click the download button, and you can try it yourself. Just as a reminder. Chris, go ahead.
Okay, so we are at our second repair. It's still dark. Probably, oh yeah, we're getting close to the sunrise. Maybe you guys want to see it for a moment. We missed it. It's already happened.
That's kind of cool, kind of unique, because we have a working sun that's basically running with a circle, so the light is switching all the time. So you have to manage even harder to get light. So, for example, if there is a sunset, it's darker. It's kind of realistic approach, but you have a flashlight, so you can use it.
Yeah, but a fun fact, when the sun is on the other side of the planet doesn't cast shadow. I will add it later, but you still have sunlight just going from another direction. But if we really made Earth cast shadow and everything, it will be a pitch black environment. And we don't want to put players into that right now. So we cheated a little bit, the Earth doesn't cast shadow. You still have the sunlight from another direction. So if some of you noticed that, then yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, in this moment, sun is more important,
Exactly.
Yeah,
We need to get the lighting right, better, with more additional light sources to help you see things.
Yeah.
Or maybe some additional HUD tools to help you identify things in the dark before we start really putting players in the dark.
We'll first check if the problem isn't caused by frozen fuel.
So now is one of the parts I was talking before. We are expected to use the infrared camera for the first time. And as you can see, everything is just cold. But it's not proper, physically accurate cold, it's 0 Celsius. And that's not what you would really get in space. This is one of the new things we added to the game. If you played the demo, then you know there were no such things as physical values like temperatures, flows, voltages. There were no such things. This is new things that we added in the prologue, so you guys can see where this is going, but it's still in the development. So a lot of things that we would like to do better. So right now you can see on the infrared camera that the pipe is getting hotter and hotter, and things near the pipe also got a little bit hotter. But like I said, this isn't yet real simulation behind it. But at least we can play around with the camera, switch different modes, and see what the tool is capable of. And I'm hoping that the players will like the tools that we added, that they give clear impression where we want to go with this.
Put the knowledge you've gained into practice and repair damaged fusion cell. I need to get back to the shuttle and recharge.
Finally, silence.
As highly sophisticated artificial intelligence, I won't enter into arguments.
Okay, now we are supposed to repair things, but we need to wait for the dialogue to finish.
Your obligations to AstrOpticon.
We are in a bit of argument with the annoying drone.
I preferred it when it
We really don't like the fellow.
I love him so much.
How can you
And I'm
not?
getting the impression that a lot of players have similar feelings towards our drone. Which by no means is a bad thing. If you guys don't like him, don't worry, we don't like him either. You know, Matt had an interesting achievement idea for Steam.
Yeah, we wanted to shut down Ash because our drone's name is Ash. So I got an interesting idea to. There's a mission in which you can open a big door, and I was trying during our testing to close Ash inside, and that would be a great great idea for an achievement for the game.
Basically, there are many places when you can lock Ash in. You can, even with a bit of luck and practice, lock him inside of their panels when you make repairs. So there are plenty of ways of getting rid of him. But he will still be talking because that's what the scenario is saying. There I go again, overshot a little. Now while I'm talking, I'm using a lot of oxygen and energy, so let me just replenish it quickly. And let's get this fusion cell. This time we're not buying a new one, we are repairing it. Not recycling, repairing it. The game won't allow you to recycle elements because you need them to complete the mission.
I won't have to listen to this. Let's go.
By the way, it's midday right now. So again, the lighting changes. So let's put everything back in. If you have noticed, there are sometimes little light green lines appearing on the screen or pointing us to different things. This might be helpful to you, it's not described in the tutorials. This little window on the left, it's a hint system. If you ever get stuck in a game, you just open the hint system and it shows you, point your attention to what you need to do next. So it's like a last resort when you get stuck in the game. It can help you move forward. Okay, no more parts to put in right now. We have just a lot of bolts to tighten. And 2 of the screws. Now we can continue putting back parts. Yeah, the misclick I've been talking about. I try to hit the bolt, I hit the part and click it out. I would actually love to fix that right now, but the tutorial is saying that you need to click on part to detach it, and it's always a bit troublesome to get all the language translations again. if you change something in the tutorial, in the game mechanics, you have to update the tutorial. And if you want to update the tutorial, you need to translate it to all the languages. And
Great.
that's not
Fusion cell
as
was
easy as it
successfully
sounds.
replaced. Solar One is fully operational.
Hey, nice work. You're now officially savior of the satellite.
With great speed comes great payoff.
It's time to contact the base. This is Astro-9. We have successfully resolved the problems with Solar One. I repeat, Sector 𝗬𝗃21 is
And
clear.
that will be it. All our repairs
Very
completed.
strange. No one is responding.
I found a disturbance in the communication system. We have no communication with HQ. Astro-0212, I received an emergency alert in Sector 𝗬𝗃22. Since we are quite close, we are obligated to check it out.
Oh yeah, and remember to tune off the
Most
flashlight.
unlucky sector.
Sometimes
Why
you
does
can
it always
forget
have
it
to
and
be me?
like
I'm establishing
me,
a course
once
to
I was
Sector 𝗬𝗃22.
trying to get to the shuttle with one
Return on
person
board.
of
I've
energy.
done it a million times.
Finally.
This is the way.
Get to
Yeah.
the shuttle.
Yeah.
Get to the shuttle!
I don't think any of us can do Arnold's voice properly.
No, sorry. I was trying. I was trying.
Yeah. Okay. So second mission. Yeah, this is where we can lock
This
the
is
ash
Sector
in.
𝗬𝗃22.
We might
This
actually
is one
try
of
to
the
do
Yeah,
this.
that's my favorite. That's my favorite mission because you can
More
you
often.
can you can put Ash into custody. So that's my favorite mission.
Do you
I just don't like him.
I believe in everything.
He's a mean person. A mean drone.
There is the
He's
cause of
annoying.
the commotion.
Yeah, he's annoying and mean.
Gets in your way.
So that's like very important side quest to
Your
catch him
mission
up,
is to locate
Yeah.
take him away.
You have to use every opportunity that you have.
functioning.
Maybe we should implement it into the game too.
So for all of you who share our
Resolved quickly.
Hatred.
hatred towards this highly sophisticated idiot,
Sweet taste of revenge.
Focus on the mission.
Yeah,
Days of
yeah.
revenge. Yeah.
You're gonna see one of the tricks you can do.
Roger.
Unfortunately, you do it at the end of the mission because
Proceeding to repair solar
before that you need to
station.
get in and out of
Over
the
and out.
hangar. So where is the door? It's dark. We're gonna use the flashlight. And open.
Damn it.
Nope.
They won't budge. Looks like I'm gonna have to fix the main gate before I can get inside.
So the doors won't open because there's something bad, something broken in the control panel. Now, this is scripted, but it's also one of our ways to show you how the things could work in the final game when we get the simulation right. The things will actually need to be in order for something else to work. So this is an example without a proper simulation, just a scripted repair, but we need to do this repair in order to get the doors working. And by the way, it also serves us as a tutorial to use our second diagnostic tool, which is the smart meter. We're gonna switch to direct current, and we have highlighted a port that we need to measure. So 12 volts seems like a reasonable
Chris, I got a question for you. Do I have to be an electrician to fix those issues in the game?
Basically, at this point, the game is kind of highlighting everything you need to do. For example, right now it's telling me to switch the meter to AC mode. And I do that. I don't have to know what AC mode is, but the tutorials kind of explain it a little. And now the game is showing me right here. You need to measure this. So this is big. In the prologue, it's gonna guide you. But in the full version, you still don't have to be an electrician. You will be told how to use the tools. And what we want to introduce is that you will have schematics that will tell you how certain things should be set up and it will be like a puzzle game. So the difficulty, it will be on a similar level like puzzle games that you have, but more dedicated puzzle games.
Like the game find the difference, and if you find something, that means that this is the point that you have to figure out or find the problem.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. When you have schematics telling you how things should work, you can measure everything with your diagnostic tools, see if anything is out of order. You can also, let me do it right now, switch to infrared camera. You can see that there is some heat around here. Because the devices have power, they are actually on. You can see the devices flashing light. So just by common sense, you can see that there is something going on in here. And if I switch off the device by clicking this button, give me a moment. I'm gonna look at the infrared camera. It's cooling down. So if the device is off, it's not producing heat. So sometimes when the device is broken, you're gonna see it as much cooler on the infrared. So you're gonna pick up those tricks pretty easy, I think. And it was said, it's kind of like a puzzle game when you have to see the difference between what's supposed to be and what is. And you're gonna be using those diagnostic tools for it. They are pretty simple. So don't worry, they are not like real meters. That's on purpose. I know some engineers will be disappointed, but we have to keep it balanced. And on the other hand, you will have a simple root cause analysis. If something is not working here because it has no power, then you have to go elsewhere where the power is supposed to come from and see what's happening there. So it will be like following the trace. Those are the basic concepts that we have behind diagnostics. It's not going to be very realistic. Like I promise I'm going to be asking this question about realism, but it's going to be, I believe, satisfying enough. We have to find the right balance. We cannot go towards a hardcore realism, but then again, I don't want to leave engineers disappointed that the game is shallow and lacks features. So this is the balancing act that is, I think, the most difficult in the games like these. Okay, so let's follow the tutorial for now. We need to check port A2 and take measurement using alternating current. We are in the AC mode, so let's take the measurement. It's 6 volts alternating current. Well, maybe the signal is noisy. Another tool is the oscilloscope. And you can see, if you are an electrician, you can see it's very, very basic. This doesn't have any values, it just shows you the shape and noisiness of the signal. It doesn't give you good measurements, you don't set any markers on your oscilloscope to take measurements like you would do in the real oscilloscope. You don't trap the signal, you don't take snapshots. All of that is gone because that would be, I believe, too much depth, too much development time to just satisfy a few engineers. Sorry, fellow engineers, we cannot invest that much time into developing a complex tools. If that would at the same time make the game less accessible to all other players that are not professional engineers. I hope you understand that we are looking for the right balance, but we are always open for feedback. Feedback is always good, gives us a lot of ideas, a lot of sense how players receive the game. So we saw the signal is pretty much a sinus shape, not very noisy, a little bit wavy. Now we check the frequency and the game tells us this is the wrong frequency. So as you can see, we have a few electrical values like voltage, frequency, and we have the shape of the signal. So using those tools you can see what the signal is like and if it's correct. And how do you know if it's correct? Well, right now the tutorial is telling you it's correct or incorrect, but in the full game you will have schematics to look at, and then you have the proper information. So now we have to find which, we see the switch is in this position, and that's 11. That's why we have 11 kilohertz here, because the switch is taking this 11 kilohertz and passing it on to the controller. So maybe you can switch the, there is no signal here. There's no signal here. There's 17 kilohertz here. We're supposed to find 28. And there it is. This is 28. So now we switch the switch into this position so that 28 can go right here. No? Okay. I think there's a little bug with not properly propagating the voltage. So now we're gonna use another tool, and this is a bit of diagnostic tool but also a maintenance tool. Those devices, the programmable controllers, well, we're not gonna be writing programs for them, but we can upload and download programs to them. We just connect our palm top using this cable, and we go to the maintenance, and we download PLC program. Now, I had a comment, I seen the comment on the screen that when you take program from PLC, you actually upload it, not download it. And I get that this is the industry standard. I also admit that I haven't dealt with PLCs in a long while, so my industry standards knowledge is a bit rusty. But in the end, I think most players having this palm top in their hands will find it instantly that you download something to your palm top, to the device you have in front of you. So this is the direction we went. But that comment about not holding to industry standard give me an idea that maybe we could have some switch in the options menu to get things like this according to industry standards. But that's something we'll have to do later. For now, let's continue. We just downloaded a program from this controller. Now the company wants us to send this program to them so their programmers can look at it. They're asking for some time to look at it. And in just 5 seconds, they already know it's just the wrong program. They just gave us a new one. We have to synchronize with server again. So now we get from the company new version of the program. We have it on our palm top and we upload it to the PLC. So now the program that we got from the company to our palm top, we have just put it into the PLC. Now let's look at the device status. The status is on, and we can see the device is on. But that means just the device is on, but the program isn't running yet. So let's click the reset switch, and after a short while we can see the status is running and the job is complete. We now have to disconnect from the device, so we click on the plug. And we finished. So that's the basic maintenance cycle with the PLC device. You connect your palm top, you can upload and download programs, you can synchronize with the company servers to get the data or send them the data. What we don't have yet is any kind of workshop to actually alter the programs yourself. We'd love to have that, but this is where the kind of the difficult decisions start. If we make the real PLC programming in this game, we're gonna start to have to simulate those PLCs, and then the game will actually be a programmer working on those programs. Even if we do the ladder programs, the engineers among you who work with PLC know that they are not that complex, especially in a game like this. They would be complex, but that's still some kind of programming instincts that would be required of a player. So I'm thinking in this case, when you need to change something in a program, it will be more of a mini game than an actual programming simulation. And I think this will be the right balance between doing some kind of complex simulation of electric devices and creating a pleasant gameplay. So we close the panel and we fly away.
The hatch is fixed. I can finally get inside.
And this is one of the feedbacks that I said we want to achieve in the game. We fixed something, so now the gate is working. And we want the player to be able to actually repair things, but for that we'll need to extend our simulation, not just have scripted events.
Enter the hangar, and they should switch on.
Let's get inside. And the lights is out.
Lights are out. Guess that's the first thing I need to fix.
So we're gonna fix the lights.
What was that? Hope nothing pops out of these shafts. I shouldn't have watched that alien horror yesterday.
Okay, we can see that this controller is turned off, so is this one, so is this one. But the game script actually wants us to take a palm top and connect to this controller at first. So let's follow what the game is asking us to do. And we have no signal. Let's reset the device. And we still have no signal. So probably there's something wrong with it. Maybe it has no power, like the game is suggesting. So let's see if there is power on the device. It's right here. And nothing. We have no reading, there is no power on the device. You can see they have this P+ and P- connectors. Those are power connectors, and then it has ports for controlling other things like A1, A2, A3 and B1 to B5. We didn't want to add more ports because you can imagine the number of cables that it will have and the confusion it will create for player. Even this at first can be like, oh wow, so many cables, what am I supposed to do with this? For now, don't worry, we have tutorial, it's guiding you. So now let's say we measure here, we have 12 volts here. So now let's measure here. Nothing. So despite this switch is being on, the power is not coming through. So we have to use this switch instead. It's not used right now, so let's put the cables here and put on this switch. Maybe the power will go through this switch. So this is still pretty much scripted, but it's showing you that you can get creative later on, finding bypasses when you have to put some power to a specific place. And we put our cable in. Now let's do the same with the other one. I'm gonna zoom in for now. You can see you can't just put cable from the port. You can see the screw is flashing red when you try to do this. It's just the game trying to tell you, well, the cable is just locked in. You have to unlock it, then you can put it out. But I can't put the cable in here because this screw is also locked. So I take my screwdriver, unlock this port, put the cable in, and lock the port. So now the cable is secure and properly connected. Those are the little things that you get used to very quickly, but at the beginning it might be confusing, so the game is highlighting everything it can. So now our power is coming through here, 12 volts through this switch, 12 volts. If I switch off the switch, nothing. I don't have any reading on my meter. I flip the switch on, I have 12 volts because I just attached it here. So now this 12 volts should be right here, and it is here. So we have power on our PLC device. So let's flip the reset switch. And it's on. And our lights are back on. So that was it. We fixed the lights. It was a simple repair, just putting the cable in another slot and resetting the device. So we didn't really have much work in here. But the purpose of this part of the game was to show you how you can diagnose things, find what is missing. Of course, properly you should have schematics, but I believe that would be too much to throw at the player at the beginning.
Sorry, Chris, I have a question from Facebook. Our fan is asking about the resources. Will you have to pay for replenishing them or not?
In the current Prologue, the oxygen, energy and thrusters fuel for your suits are for free. You just approach the service station and you replenish those. But in the later game, in the full game, this will be your resources, something that you manage. The more efficient you work, the better financial results you get from the mission. Although I don't suppose that oxygen and energy and the thruster fuel will be very expensive, so don't worry about that. There will be just a minor touch to pay for them. But other resources like aluminium, steel, plastic, silicon for electronic devices, those will be something that you have to manage. You have to buy or recycle it or mine it, and those resources will be your property that you carry on with you. You can use them for trading. If you have a lot of abundance of some resources, you can sell it to the company, get some cash out of it. And if you are missing resources, you don't have to look for parts to recycle, or you can just buy those resources by selling something else, or if you have enough money, you just buy them. So yeah, the resources will not be for free. Although for now the storyline is laid out in such a way that you don't have to worry about money. You will have enough at each mission, you will be given enough resources at each mission, so there is no continuum between missions. If you completely waste all your resources on one mission just having fun, you go on the storyline to the next missions, your resources will be reset to the initial state for this mission. So you should have no problems. But for the full game, yeah, we want the resources to be a thing. Now here's another example when the game basically tells you what to do. We still assume that the players would not get a hang of doing diagnostics, especially that we don't introduce it very well. So the game is basically telling you to look at both pumps with the camera. And you see this one is cold, so it's not working. This one is definitely working, is doing something, there's a heat on it. That's all we needed to do in here. So very, very basic diagnostic. Just look, oh, there's something completely wrong here. So let's get to this pump.
Another question from Facebook: how will the player gain more licenses? So how will he upgrade from number 1 to, for example, number 5?
This is a good question, and I'm gonna say this is still an open topic. If you have good suggestions, go ahead. I was thinking of something like you have tutorials available, and you go for a tutorial. It shows you everything you want to know, and then the game puts you through an exam. You don't have to go through tutorial. If you played the game before, you just go through the exam. The game will check if you know how to do things, will ask you to do things, and if you do them correctly, you're gonna get the license. And of course, those exams will have to be paid for, so they will become available only when you get enough money to do so. So that's how the progression could work. But I'm not saying this is how we intend to do it right now. This is just an idea I've been thinking of, that you don't have to go through tutorials. If you already know the game, then all you have to do is to go through exam. But we'll have to see how this develops. If you have any other idea, any good idea you think you want to share, go ahead. I would definitely love to see what people have in mind when getting new license levels.
It's in a bad shape, but I should be able to repair it.
As a reminder, guys, the game is absolutely for free. So if you want to try it yourself, just download from Steam and give it a try. We hope you will enjoy it. We put a lot of heart into it, so yeah.
Okay, we are approaching our hub. We do not collide with the space shuttle. No problem. Our suit is at this point pretty much indestructible.
Will it be in the full version? As indestructible as it is now?
We'll have to work on this, you know, because I would love for the player to take damage and actually have to be careful with some things, but this is a difficult question because some players have good skills of good spatial awareness, but for some players that will be a very difficult thing to play in a game when just colliding with something in this 3D environment, in this big inertia that you have, could cause damage, and this would be annoying. Okay, let's repair this pump. And let's get back to the hangar.
So we are close to shutting Ash inside, yeah?
Yeah, I believe there's one more repair here. But we'll definitely...
Yeah. This is our favorite moment of the prologue, guys.
Main event of this showcase.
Yeah, main event of this live stream. We're gonna trap Ash inside.
The main villain of this game.
Don't spoil it.
No, not yet, not yet.
Don't spoil it.
Not yet. We need to put this back on.
Chris, you can handle it, don't worry.
Yeah. I've done it a million times. That's what you get for developing a game. You go through the same scenarios over and over again, and then you are just in a hurry.
This is
Do it.
Over. I repeat, this is Astro 9. Solar 3A station is fixed. Over.
Complete silence. What the hell is going on? Why doesn't anyone answer our calls?
The Ash is very watchful, very watchful.
Making contact impossible. Unfortunately, we are stuck with ASH.
Come on, dude, give me a break.
What now?
Stop playing
Looks like
staring
there's something
contests
wrong
with me.
fusion.
Mission objective is to find out what has been damaged and fix it. Do you understand, 0212?
Yeah, watch it, little fellow.
He knows what's coming.
He's getting angry.
I swear, this guy had it coming.
He knows we are talking about him.
And the usual thing when you have to diagnose mechanical parts. Basically, the only tool we have that somehow resembles the diagnosis of mechanical parts is this infrared camera. We don't have anything to measure flaws or things like that, any kind of Doppler devices. There's a lot of ideas, but then again, you have to take into account development times and not to overshoot the complexity of the game. And I'm gonna quote my colleague here. When the hero was telling, "This is overheating, it needs to be repaired quickly." Do you remember what you said once?
No. Could you
Let it
remind me?
blow up.
Oh. Yeah.
It's in a bad shape.
This must be one of the days when you have spent hours on testing and you just had enough.
Especially with ash flying around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that could be one of the ways of getting rid of ash. Getting close to something that you are about to blow up.
Yeah, like the
Nah,
emptiness
he will
of
survive that. He will survive that, guys.
Yeah.
like the emptiness of the
little
space
bugger is
not
indestructible.
Yeah.
But the goal here is his pain, not his survival.
Yeah. The goal is to get paid.
You know, I will have to ask Claptrap if robots can feel pain. So we're gonna repair this one.
New cell is ready. Let's get this piece of junk back to work.
Oh Ash, if you have any idea what's coming.
I think he has my idea. He knows your relationship.
What are you talking about? There is no relationship
Oh.
here.
Yeah, and he knows that.
There's just this weird chemistry.
Weird chemistry.
Oh, he's in my way again.
He loves you. Chris, he loves you. Give him a hug.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are.
Ah, yeah.
I don't love you.
Oh, wait. The camera is... Wait. Show it again. Show it again. Oh, how can you not love him? The camera was in the way.
Oh, wrong tool. It's a good thing I got those little icons reminding me, because I'll be lost in my own game. I mean, at some points it's obvious. This is clearly a bolt that you have to use the wrench on, but since we are taking this a bit of new direction with the game, some of the asset and 3D models we have are still not adjusted to the tools. They don't have the look that they should have. Okay.
Let's do this. Let's go.
Here comes the important stuff.
Yeah, here's...
Now, I'm gonna use his own psychology against him. He likes those staring contests, right? He's always tried to be in front of me.
Is located in Mar 2.
So I'm gonna do this, my little...
Oh.
No, we're gonna get him in there.
Supposed
Yeah, you want
Smarter than you, Chris.
you want another staring contest? You want another staring contest?
I don't like it either.
He's like
I would
a
have a
bull ready
drink.
to attack.
When we come back, I'm buying.
Yeah, here's something to stare at for you.
Let's go. Set course for MAR2.
This is future.
Yeah, you like these doors?
Bye.
Yeah, you can stare at those doors.
Now watch your own suffering.
Don't worry, Ash, the lights are automated. And that's mission accomplished. I would say that's one hell of a mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Okay, I can finally let go of the keyboard and
We are
mouse.
approaching
Because
sector
there's a
Mar 1.
cutscene.
We are approximately 20 minutes away from our destination. In Sector Mar 1, we will find Hope Station. It
A
used
fun
to study
fact, you look at the
samples
horizon
of
of Mars, you see how blue it is, but
We
the
have
Mars
to say hello.
atmosphere isn't actually
This is
blue.
Astro 9. Hope, can you hear me?
What you have on Mars is a lot of dust in the atmosphere, but
Astro
the
9,
atmosphere
Hope,
itself
Can you hear
is
me?
like 100 times thinner than
Strange.
atmosphere
No
on
one is
Earth.
responding.
There's not enough atmosphere to scatter the blue light.
Damn. The station
So
looks
you don't
damaged.
get the blue sky on
Maybe
Mars.
that's why we can't
You get
get in
it
touch
a
with
bit
them.
rusty and
Maybe
dusty
let's
because of all the particles
Maybe they
in
need
the air.
I'm sorry.
So you have this
Afraid I
orange
can't do
rusty
that.
sky.
We have our assignment
But
in Sector Mars
during
2.
sunsets,
Distress
when you
signal
look
is our
horizontally,
priority.
you look
According to
through
my data,
so much
everything
distance
is in the best
through the
possible
atmosphere that you actually see enough
Although
air
I prefer to
particles
make sure people are okay. Let's
to
keep
scatter the blue light. So when you are on Mars, you actually have
We are in
orange
Sector Mars 2,
sky in the
and our
day,
main task is to
but
restore
blue
the
sunset
orbital
and
shuttle
sunrises,
with
exactly the opposite
Millennium
of what you
full
have on Earth.
operation.
What
That's
about
quite
its
interesting,
crew?
and
Don't
I
they
like
have
paying
trained
attention to
mechanics
these
on board?
little things.
Negative.
Even if we are not doing some realistic atmosphere computations, we like to put the right impression on the player.
So sophisticated that the shuttle no longer works. Why doesn't
Okay, I got another
the
question from
shuttle take
Facebook.
priority over a station full of people?
Will there be a rover in
These
the
are
game?
our orders. According to my data,
That question is about to answer itself in a moment.
Okay.
to the Millennium Research Station, including a brand new rover.
But the short answer is yes.
As always, something went wrong and I'm expected to fix it.
So
I don't feel
we
up
closed
to it.
Ash
I
in
need to
the
consult that with HQ.
Yeah,
last mission inside. So will he
Contact
be
HQ.
on the mission?
This is
The
Astro.
damn bugger response.
This is Astro. We got something that needs to be resolved. Over. No response.
But we have
Sorry.
some things to say to him,
What
don't we?
now? Ash, check out why I can't reach AstrOpticon.
Negative. I am unable to do that.
Frackin' toaster. Paul, can you find out what's
Yeah.
wrong?
Fracking toaster.
Sure, we'll try.
There's no point.
A very
wasting more
suitable
time.
comparison.
Get on with it and wait for the situation to unfold.
It looks like closed doors aren't a problem for us.
Yeah, maybe he can teleport.
Or
Maybe teleport.
he has some secret co-worker who helps him.
Open the
We
door.
can-
I know.
But he must have some weakness.
I should probably have another astronaut with me.
I see the
Someone
problem.
expendable.
Right cargo
I should leave him
bay door
there
did
and
not
with
open.
one just one command. Hold the door.
Actually, this
The
should
role
be
of prisoner.
I just need to get to control hub and open
Maybe we
the
could
other
call
cargo
him
door
Hodor.
from there.
No.
No, I think there's only one holder, but
Yeah.
Damn. Looks like someone intentionally messed it
what
up.
a mess.
Paul, something's not right here. Looks like someone deliberately messed up this ship.
What do you mean, intentionally? There was no one here beside us.
We should report this. Paul, any luck?
This is Astro 9. Over. This is Astro 9 calling
Let me put the
AstrOpticon
flashlight
HQ.
on.
Over.
There's no point
We got a situation here.
wandering in the
Someone is
dark.
deliberately sabotaging our devices. Is anyone picking this up? It's pointless. The comms are still down.
Something is wrong. Nobody answers. What the hell is going on here? Ash, communication is not working. Something is wrong. I found traces of sabotage. I'm ordering you to set up a communication with HQ.
Negative. Your license does not permit you to take such action. I'm not going to follow that order.
Paul, keep trying. Perhaps I'd better focus on repairs. Maybe someone forgot to open the left door hydraulic valve before launching the
Well, I
ship.
might have been
better check it
speaking
out.
while that line was in the storyline, but there is a rover inside this crate, inside this container. It was supposed to go to Mars, but well, this automated shuttle had a problem. The door didn't open and the launch didn't happen. If you want to get the rover to Mars, we need to try some things.
No, that's not it. I better check door control systems.
Yeah, you can get hit by those doors. It's funny actually. Could be annoying, but I think it's funny.
So guys, remember, the game is absolutely free. So if you want to try it, just download it from Steam and play.
What a mess.
What a mess.
Oh.
A lot of cables aren't even connected.
Someone's been working
I'm gonna
here.
set this place according to my schematics and see if that helps.
Yeah, so our hero says he's gonna fix it according to his schematics. We don't yet have schematics in game, so we just pretend he looked at the schematics and now he knows what to fix. So all the cables are highlighted here. So let's do this according to his knowledge. We might not know what we're doing, but he looked at the schematics, he knows what to do. And this cable goes here. Yeah. And this one here. Anything else?
And
Yeah, there's
last
another one. Where do you go? Here. Yeah, but this is the one thing I said. You need to remember those little things. Secure the ports. Put the screw in. Tighten it. So the cable is put in properly and won't fall out on its own. And that's all the cables. But some switches are in the wrong positions, so we're gonna switch them too. Now how do we know which position is correct? Well, like I said, the astronaut, our hero, look at the schematics, like he said in the storyline, and the game is highlighting those for us. So it's maybe a bit confusing when you try to find out what you should do. But then again, for this to properly work, we would have to have schematics in the game. We don't have them yet. Okay. So now what we are supposed to do? Let's just pretend I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I could look at the conversation history to find out. I can wait for the game to highlight something for me, like it just did. Or I can use the hints panel to ask for a highlight. It's telling me to reset those 3 PLC controllers. Well, resetting is easy. You just press the reset button. This one is starting. This one is starting. And this one is starting. So basically the gameplay right now is kind of following the hints, following the guidelines. And let's close the panel.
It should work.
Did we fix the door? Yes, we did. Now, I see a big door and a big cargo space. You know what I'm thinking?
Warning. Please leave the orbital drop zone.
A door I can close?
Please leave the orbital drop zone.
Yeah, this is another place when I usually like to close Ash inside.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Error. Orbital drop procedure aborted. Orbital drop procedure aborted.
Something went wrong. What now?
Now,
Paul, any
those
ideas?
little things like opening the cargo doors, using some lever, these are the things that the game didn't have before in the demo version. This is another little change we want to make in the game. Make those objects that you work with have some kind of functionality, something you can play with, something that can be broken, something that can be fixed. So put a little bit more life into all those assets that we have. But then again, we really like to have some feedback, see what people think about this direction.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
And
I will finish it myself. Sticking to the rules won't fix anything. Our
if the reception is positive,
Hope Millennium.
then
Let
we
me
know
have a look at the
what to
container.
do next.
Maybe I can bypass the electric locks.
Leszek asked, this look of Mars is real or fake?
Well, I haven't been from the beginning of the development of this game, so I don't know if the texture are of the actual Mars, but I clearly recognize some of the Mars features. Maybe not now because the planet is at some angle, but when you turn around you can recognize the canyons of Mars and so on. So I believe the texture used in Mars is actually the real Mars. So, and it's pretty good quality, so you can actually look at Mars and recognize some of the features.
Okay, 𝗦𝗶𝗺𝗃𝗃 just sent us a message on chat. It is okay without schematics. If you really are planning to implement them in the game, please do it on hard mode only.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of it, the difficulty settings for now are just by default on normal. And even if you want to make the game more deep, you always have to think about keeping something for players who want something more casual. So the difficulties will also not just change some few settings like the oxygen goes faster or it costs more, it will also change the way the game guides you. So yeah, that's a good remark, and I'll definitely keep this one in mind.
Typical. No wires for electric locks. Maybe I can find some cables to replace these.
Okay, something is missing. And even now, we just look at the container. The hero told us, oh, I need to find new cables. Well, I'm not gonna find them here, so it's obvious I'm gonna have to fly away, but the game is still giving us a hint to do so. So as you can see, we are trying to always give the player something to hold on if he gets lost or confused. But then again, some players would actually prefer more of a sandbox simulation mode.
Just fine. They don't
That's
serve
the
much
balancing
purpose
act
here
we'll
anyway.
have to pay a lot close attention to. Okay, we just stole some cables. No one will notice it's right. It's an automated shuttle. And let's put the cable here. This one here.
Seems like everything's working properly.
And now another toy, which means I'm gonna pull something, something's gonna happen.
Are you 100%
It's a little
positive
toys
you
like
handle
this that were, in my opinion, missing from the original demo version. You can actually play with some devices,
Get ready, Mars.
switch them on, off,
It's Prologue.
unlock, and here we go.
Phew, I did it. The right
I'm gonna
man in
turn
the
off the
right
light in a
place.
moment. The container is flying to Mars. And why I wanna turn off the light? Because now we can see a little bit of that blue Mars sunset. But we have another job to do before we complete this mission, don't we? Hello! Now, where are you? There you are. You don't want to come in here? You don't want to come in here? Come on.
That's his revenge.
He's too smart.
Yeah,
I
will
think
be.
his intelligence is starting to
Improve.
kick in.
he's going to lock you inside and fly away.
Yeah, but you know,
He's too smart for you, Chris.
yeah. Now it's his intelligence against my resolve.
He's making progress.
Let's see what this does. I'm gonna look at us both.
Okay.
Okay. I I forced him in somehow. Let's do it. Let's do it. No mission is complete without getting rid of Ash. Okay. Quick.
Will you reach the hand?
Run away! Run away! And you stay there, little buddy. You stay there. You stay there. You stay right there. Got him.
Now
Mission
mission
successful.
complete.
Mission complete.
Yeah. Now it's complete. And now the answer to the question that I promised it's gonna answer itself. We just launched that container onto Mars, and that container contained the rover. We're gonna control it remotely.
I landed in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea how to get to Normandy. Is it just my imagination, or do I see something in the distance? Looks like a structure built by man. I need to check it out.
Yeah, so we start with another controls tutorial and we'll skip it.
During training, controlling the rover seems so much simpler.
Everything
Let's have a little look around. And if you remember from maybe previous screenshots, the demo, or well, Mars looked completely different in the previous versions of the game. It was a small space, basically handmade. Now we are using a different approach with procedural terrain generation to get all the details in. So now we can have actually some exploration, open spaces, and get a little rover on a bit of a journey. We are letting it go as fast as 40 kilometers per hour.
It's a quick rover.
Yeah, it's a quick one. But otherwise the game would be just a bit boring if you try to keep the rover at a realistic pace. Those things don't go fast because they are too priceless, and they don't have anyone around them to help them if they would just get stuck on some weird rock or something. Or just dig themselves in a loose sand. So those rovers are really traveling very slow, very carefully. Failure is not an option. But in our case we have save games. We can roll over or crash it and restart the game. So there's no point in letting players just spend a lot of time.
I got a question from Jacob. Are there any aliens on Mars?
Nope.
Nope.
But you will find something in here if you look carefully enough. Alien will not tell you what it is, where it is, but there is a little Easter egg here on Mars, so you can look for it. Maybe not.
I got a question. What's the name of the rover finally?
The name of the rover? No, yeah. I think we just call it rover.
Maybe we should give him a name.
It doesn't have artificial intelligence, it's remotely controlled, but every rover sent to any mission always had a name.
Yeah.
Some kind of patron, something like that. Maybe ask Chaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe guys, you have a cool name for our rover. Yes, don't hesitate to share it on our Steam forum or even on the chat. We will take it under consideration. It would be nice to have a name for our small little fella.
Well, just to give you a hint, look at this. It's a little bit of a drifter. You can drift with it a little, but you just have to get up to speed and, well, just the kind of a funny way I did physics for now.
This is a good idea for minigames.
For
Rover racing.
Yeah.
rover racing. Need for rover, yes?
You know, the astronauts have to pass up their time somehow, right?
Yeah.
I found something. Looks like a radio location.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
you
find
can-
some kid that likes to tinker in mechanics.
It's not Normandy. Abort the missions immediately. I repeat, abort missions.
I need to investigate this.
You find
Maybe I
some
can find some
communication
directions
facility.
or a map to Normandy here.
Not following orders will risk severe consequences, Astro-0212.
But it's kind of like abandoned, shut down, maybe not having power. Let's check it out.
Looks like no one has
What's
used
strange is that those solar panels are
I need to
completely
restore
perfectly
power first.
clean, no
Ash
dust.
is,
solar
Ash is so
panels
negative.
appear to be working.
Oh my god.
Maybe the fuses are worn out.
I don't know, I locked him in and he's still talking.
He's feeling lonely.
It's been long.
Okay.
Maybe we should down
Let's
his,
check here.
his transmission power.
Yeah. This fuse
Okay,
is
let's
dead.
look carefully. Yeah, look at the difference. This fuse is clean and this one is completely messed up. But there's nothing I can do with it unless I have proper equipment, and this is right here. For now we just have one type of arm, maybe we'll think of other types. But I can click on it and get it installed on my rover. At any time I can just put it back, install it.
So you could
rover?
switch them if you had
Yeah,
more options.
if we have more types of arms to different kind of jobs, we can just switch
So-
them.
So rover and super rover, yeah?
Yeah, you can think of you're thinking of mounting guns on it.
Mounting gun? Sure.
I knew
So-
I knew it was
So without it, he cannot grab anything, yeah? Now
yeah
he can
no
grab
yeah
something.
it has no arm. Now it has. You have to get really close because that arm doesn't have a lot of reach. So you have to get really close. But you don't have to operate it manually, but like in the previous version, it's more of a automated thing. Okay, this fuse was broken, let's just drop it here. We don't need it. Yeah. Bad fuse.
Don't touch.
And we have
I found
some
Maybe we should
items
add,
in here.
Maybe we should add a dark hole more so you can dump it
Let's
there.
let's
Or
this is well, this is something else.
that would be great.
Let's drop it.
Destination for Ash.
That would be a great destination for it.
Actually, I was playing this mission with my 7-year-old niece.
Yeah.
Her favorite fun was finding all the objects that we can have in the crate, get to the edge of canyon and drop it.
So another mini game.
Another mini game to our game to the space mechanic.
I don't think that would be very popular. Maybe at the beginning, but then. Okay, let's put this in. And this fuse looks much better.
Electricity is back. The tower is working.
And now
I
we
need to
have
plug
power
in
in the
and see if I
station,
can get some
so
bearings so we can find
maybe
Normandy.
this tower will work and will give us some ideas. There's a terminal, we get close, we communicate with it.
I did it.
It's very
I got
simple
the
for now.
coordinates. But there is something else there. Some strange echo.
So
Seems to
yeah,
be almost
there is a
on the way.
rover, but for now there's not that much to do.
Be careful.
We have not expanded much on the rover, except for we have changed a little things like the arm is now automated,
From the route.
so it uses.
Hey, there's another rover.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out. If the
Maybe-
item is in
maybe
range,
this
you
is
can
a
pick it up.
she-rover. Our guy is a he rover and the broken one is a she rover.
That's
Maybe.
the Wally movie.
Maybe we will have rover babies, guys.
No, this one is not going anywhere.
Wally was here.
Wally was here. Wait, I will turn on the camera. So okay, showcase. Okay. Oh, it's broken.
He had a bad day. Probably a year ago. Okay, let's see what we find in those coordinates from the communication tower.
Maybe it's the station that we are looking for.
Maybe.
Yeah, the goal is to go to Normandy to deliver the rover there.
Maybe that's the aliens we're looking for.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Of course.
Come on, I see a nice little mountain,
dust.
nice little hill. Maybe we'll see if this thing can jump.
You wanna jump with the rover? Hey.
It's not like it's expensive.
Stop it.
Come on, let me have a little fun. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I lost my speed, but it's working.
Drifting is not only his skill, right?
Yeah, he has many skills. Jumping, drifting, what else? Using his arm.
What can I say? It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Very, very.
So sad that the second one is broken, right?
Yeah.
I know. The astronauts
could-
must have some kind of destruction derby going on.
Yeah, they have some ideas with them. What else?
They were leaving the outpost and what to do with all this equipment. Oh, I'm not gonna carry it with me. So let's do a destruction derby with our rovers.
Would be nice if you could fix him. The second rover.
Yeah, the second rover, yeah.
And play together.
Yeah,
And play together.
there are a lot of ideas that you can get from it. For now, I think what counts for me is to leave a good impression. But ideas are always welcome.
Stick to the mission, right?
What mission? This is an unknown object I'm heading for. Oh, it's a curiosity mission.
Creativity.
Sorry, NASA.
Creativity.
Oh, yeah, if anyone wants to see what happens when you drive into a canyon, go ahead. But I don't have a save. I'm gonna be tough. I'm not gonna even use one save during this stream. But basically,
Yeah, we have save games feature, so don't worry, guys. It's not implemented in the game, so don't worry.
yeah, you can save it right here. You have autosave at the beginning of each mission, so
I got another question from Facebook. Does the game have controller support?
we are working on it. The challenge is that, look, we do a lot of things by mouse cursor, like opening those things. So we're gonna have to emulate mouse cursor with the controls, and this is proven a slight bit of a challenge, but it's getting there. This is something I would like to add very early, even in the some updates coming, maybe in the prologue, but I don't want to make any promises.
Your goal is to deliver
If there is a lot of
supplies
people asking for it, I know this is
reconnaissance
important for many of you,
mission.
so maybe we could divert some times in doing it right now. It has to be done eventually. I don't imagine a full game without controller support. But right now you can bind some controls to the controller, but you still need to use mouse.
We are getting closer.
If you have a long USB cable, maybe you can get the mouse to another room.
What the? What's going on?
Look what we
What can you
found.
see?
It's a shuttle. A crashed shuttle.
What?
It's a Satellite X shuttle wreckage.
Oh,
What the hell is going on
yeah,
here?
exactly.
I lost my communication with the rover.
I had to terminate your connection due to
Ash.
following my orders.
Paul,
That's
try to
his
report
payback
this.
time.
Yeah.
Over.
This is his moment to shine, mess up
found a
our
wreckage of a
communication.
shuttle owned by Satellite X. This is
We are
AstrOpticon.
making fun of Ash, but the story is kind of dramatic. We have found a broken shuttle.
Think, what can I do?
It's called
The cons are
of a
still
company
there.
called Satellite
You
X.
should visit Hope.
It's not
They
SpaceX,
have
it's
better
Satellite X, guys.
communications on board.
That's our only option.
Sorry, Elon.
We need to try.
Sorry, no.
You're
No.
not gonna be famous in our
You're
universe.
not gonna be famous in our game, sorry.
Objective is clear.
The course for Hope Station has been set.
So this is it. We no longer have a rover. That pesky little drone cut our communication.
We are approaching sector MAR1. Hope is 5 minutes from our location.
This is AstrOpticon.
There's definitely a lot more
I
that
request
should be
permission
done
to
with the
dock.
rover.
Over. This is AstrO9 requesting
I
permission
mean,
to dock.
now that we have
Oh, can you
open
read me?
areas,
Over.
larger areas, we have some ideas
Is
like
anyone out there?
locating things by means of triangulation, but That's a concept that we'll have to introduce players to.
Denied. It's against.
I mean, for some of us,
Screw the
it's easy to
protocol.
understand,
No one is answering.
but
What now?
I don't have that
The
much
station
sense
should be populated, but it seems that no one is there.
what kind of player base
We
we have.
need to
So
activate the emergency
probably
signal
a feedback would
immediately.
be welcome.
Ash,
If
authorization code.
going on a bit of exploration with the rover with
2095M.
something that would people find fun,
Transmitter power is at
finding their way in a
according to my
dust storm with nothing but triangulation at your disposal,
I suggest starting.
those kinds of things.
Ah, for once, you're useful for something. Paul, have you finished the analysis of the data collected from the radar station?
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
that fracking toaster is still with us, I'm guessing. Yeah, there he is, there he is.
Corporation is deliberately hiding.
Maybe
this
if we
accident.
could print parts, he
Why
prints
the
himself
hell did they
each
want
time.
to crash the Satellite X spaceship?
Maybe you will find some
That's
answers.
kind of
in hope.
interesting in
The
theory.
sooner I fix the communication
I don't
system,
think so.
we will
So
get
he
help.
achieved immortality, right?
Yeah, shift immortality.
I swear to you, people will try to find out to edit save files to get rid of him.
Maybe.
Well, all you need to do is to change his position to like plus 1 million kilometers. It will take him a lot of time to get back.
Yeah.
This is where the communication system should
Okay.
be located.
Let's see, we need to send a signal, but we need to restore the communication signal station first.
I'm turning our camera off because I want you to see what's going to happen next.
No. Spoilers.
What now? Could this day get any worse?
Warning.
Oh, something's broken, something's badly broken.
Warning.
I'm gonna check it out because, well,
Primary cooling system pressure critical. Please begin immediate
Ash, could you check it out? I'm a bit scared.
Yeah, be useful.
Warning.
Looks like some steam, something's leaking, but the cover looks damaged.
Primary cooling system offline. Risk of reactor core meltdown.
Okay, now it's definitely damaged.
Yeah, but Ash survived.
I've survived.
Come on, not even scratch on you, man. Look at my helmet.
You there?
Like Phoenix from Ashes, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
my spacesuit is pretty beat up. I'd better fix this quick. We're facing total annihilation.
You should
Need
tweak
to
Okay.
down his
get the
HP
backup
a little
cooling
bit.
working.
He doesn't have an HP bar if you haven't noticed.
That's the problem.
Maybe that's the problem. We
Well,
should add an HP bar to that.
That's gonna be our most requested feature.
Yeah.
That's because he doesn't have soul.
Switch on yet.
Ah, Ash has a soul. He's an artificial intelligence.
I mean, he has a character. I'm gonna give him that.
Right. That's
Some kind of character, but
Primary cooling system offline. Risk of reactor core meltdown.
okay. So we get this generator because it's supposed to kick in the cooling system, but it's not working, so we have to fix it.
Warning.
How does it look?
Reactor core
It ain't so bad. We still have most of the station.
It's just a scratch.
Yeah, we have bolts, we can repair it.
Yeah, lots of bolts.
In the printer. But maybe.
You can print a new station, yeah? You can print it. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
let me just recycle the shuttle. Where is it? There it
So,
is.
we have another question. What about implementing RTX, NVIDIA RTX in the future? Is that a thing or we...
It's a dream.
It's a dream.
I had a dream.
You had a dream, okay.
Yeah, I think there is ray tracing support in the engine we are using.
Robert asked that question, so...
But for now, I think the most important thing is to get the gameplay in order. And then we'll see how we are looking with the deadlines and how the game gains popularity. Because it's not like we release the game and that's it. If the game has a lot of popularity and there's demand for RTX, we might consider it. for now, I'm gonna be honest, we don't have it in plans. I would love to do it, but for now we have to focus on basically building a good gameplay, good storyline, and well, as you can see, we are not a huge team. But RTX has a lot of good solutions available on the market. We'll have to research them and see what we come up against. But there are more important things like controller support, for example, simulation stuff. So yeah, that's the most honest answer I can give. I would love to do it. I'm a bit of a graphic rendering junkie, but it all has to happen at the right time, when we have the resources to do it. I hope you're not disappointed with this answer.
Robert, I hope you are not disappointed with that answer.
Warning, 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 warning.
Okay, I got another question from Facebook. Will the system requirements be bigger in the future?
I don't think so. If anything, I'm gonna try to keep it as it is right now. Maybe our assets would get a bit more complicated, but it's important for me to keep the game running even in the hardware that is below our minimum specification, just give it a bit of a margin. Believe it or not, but I personally have a very old laptop. I mean, in the office we have pretty decent hardware, but personally you would find it odd that a game developer doesn't have a super powerful laptop at home, but I don't need it.
No fuel.
So you go to travel.
I have a little trivia for you guys. We're actually streaming from old PC, from our studio, so as you can see it's working pretty good, even on old hardware. We have 9070 and it's working like a charm, so we don't have to be afraid that the game will work poorly on older hardware. So we try to make the game work on every single, not on every single one, but even on the older hardware. So as a reminder, if you want to play it, the game is free on Steam, so give it a try, give it a spin. Maybe you'll enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it for you.
Yeah, my old laptop has 950, GeForce 950, so that's...
Yeah, GeForce 950 and the game is working like a charm, so guys...
I can run it on full details. I don't get 60 FPS on full details, I get like 30, 40.
Maybe it won't work on a potato on a very old PC for sure, so give it a spin.
Please begin immediate evacuation.
Okay, we're taking out this part.
Warning, warning, warning.
So many things broken, it's almost like something exploded in here.
Yeah, there's a big suspense because the alarms are attacking from every direction. Warning, warning. Do you feel the pressure, Chris?
Worrying.
No, I'm just checking if my oxygen isn't running out.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's a veteran.
Yeah, so now I'm just going a bit quicker through all those repairs because well, it's getting pretty repetitive at some points with those mechanical parts. Different things get broken for different reasons, but the game mechanics is pretty much the same when you are working with mechanical parts. You just unbolt screws, untie them.
Christopher said it, but I had to repeat it. Guys, there's a crack on the screen, so yeah, we are trying to make it pretty cool. So our hero lived through a big explosion, but his suit is damaged, so there's an indication on that on the screen that there is a crack in his glass. So
yeah, that's a pretty solid glass, I will have to say. It only cracked, but it's still holding. But I wouldn't feel comfortable in such a suit. So yeah, we don't have the suit damage yet, but you can see we have some graphical indication of damage. Just because we felt that.
So guys, if you got any questions for us, we are here for you. So please use the chat to send some questions. We will gladly answer them.
Reactor core meltdown. Please begin immediate evacuation. Warning, 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 warning.
Let's put the things back in.
Primary cooling system pressure critical. Please begin immediate evacuation. Warning, 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 warning.
Now that's a lot of screws.
Cooling system offline.
You are screwed.
Reactor core meltdown. Warning, warning,
That's not how it was supposed to be.
warning,
I better cut off the fuel from the primary generator to contain the
Okay.
fire.
The fire is still raging, but
Please begin immediate evacuation.
we're gonna cut the power here. Maybe that's gonna do something about it.
Warning, warning, warning,
And I definitely don't need a flashlight on this side of the base.
warning, warning. Primary cooling system pressure critical. Please begin immediate evacuation. Warning, warning, warning,
And
warning,
switch, 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 switch.
warning.
Switch everything off.
Primary cooling system offline. Risk of reactor core meltdown.
Honestly, I don't know what I just did there,
Warning, 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 warning.
but I was told to switch everything off.
You broke the.
Warning. Reactor core meltdown. Please begin
I need to get back to my shuttle and check on Paul.
I'd agent, sir.
Oh yeah, Mr. Opportunity.
Warning, 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 warning.
The fire seems a bit less intense, but it's still there. Oh, and I overshot the shuttle.
Shit. Problems
Come on,
again.
come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
So,
come on.
always.
Yeah, I
It's
was.
very hard to.
I was looking the other way and not even paying attention how
Get to
close
the
I was.
shuttle.
He was checking the.
I'm
file.
going, man. Yeah, build 125 has double the braking strength, so you're gonna slow down twice as fast. It's just gonna have to pass through our testing.
You had to take it off firstly.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
something happened here.
Yeah, on the end of the shuttle.
Uh-huh.
Did you forget, Chris?
Oh, just forgot the storyline I wrote, or you wrote, or we put
Me
in.
wrote.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, I was just not paying attention. I was just going too fast and missed the shuttle, but yeah. Our hero noticed there's something wrong here.
The explosion appears to have damaged the engines.
And he was right.
Repair them quickly.
There is
Coolant
something
supply
wrong
pipes
here.
are broken.
Something is leaking.
Yeah. The pipe is broken, but I can't take it out. Okay, I have to shut down.
You have to use the valve to turn
Yeah.
off the gas and then you can.
Mm-hmm. I have the pipe,
I will have to go back to Hope.
but I'm gonna need some kind of minerals resources to fix it, because repairing parts require resources. So to get resources, I'm gonna have to fly back to the station. See if there are some pipes that are not needed there, and considering the state of the station, I would say there will be a lot of useless pipes at this point.
Primary cooling system pressure critical.
Especially that I cut the power, that's probably gonna help finding parts that are being completely idle right now. Of course, in the gameplay, the game simply highlights those parts. And those are those two pipes. We're gonna get back to our shuttle, and this time instead of repairing things, we're gonna recycle those parts and get ourselves some extra resources. So again, this is kind of like a tutorial for another game mechanics, which is obtaining resources by recycling parts. I'm gonna use this door to slow down. I'm gonna abuse the fact that we have no actual damage. And let's look at those pipes. The hint system will tell me it's this one. And again, it's gonna tell me to recycle it. And now it's this one. And I should recycle it. You can use the hint system when you are in doubt what to do next. I can now ask it again, and it's gonna show me now this pipe needs not recycling, but repairing. So I repaired the pipe from our engine using the resources obtained from those pipes from the stations. Now let's put it back in and see if I can repair the engines. Because otherwise we are not going anywhere.
Yeah, so as you can see, we give player many options to repair broken parts, recycle them, print new ones. So player has some options how to get through.
Yeah, but not that much in the prologue, as this is mostly scripted. But yeah, generally this is the direction we want to go with the game. To give it a bit more depth, resource management, exploring.
Success. The engine should be fully operational again.
And that's it. We repaired our engines, hopefully. And we can get out of here.
Despite the repairs, engines are not working. Paul is badly injured.
Always when I really get, I get Monday mechanic, like a Sunday mechanic.
I have no idea where to find new parts here. Every new attempt to start
Ash is watching.
nothing.
Always.
I am slowly running out of energy and oxygen. I shouldn't.
If you look closely at the hub screen, this one is the mission screen that is not available in the prologue, but I took a screenshot of it.
Must see what Paul discovered. What? He intercepted some kind of signal. Transmitted.
It's a good thing Ash is not breathing, because it will feel different, strange on his neck.
Explosion. Everything
Like a horror game.
is
Yeah, kind of.
come together.
He has this long head, kind of like Alien.
Alien, yeah. This mechanic alien flying towards.
It's getting harder and harder for me to catch my breath. I better stop.
Look at
talking.
Ash, just-
Safe. Oxygen.
I mean, I don't trust the spell.
It's over.
The strange thing about cutscenes is that I never know how long the player will spend in the mission, so I never know where the sun is gonna be when you play the cutscene. Sometimes you're gonna get it very bright, sometimes you're gonna get some takes very dark. So maybe something I need to adjust a little bit.
This is AstrOpticon surveillance hovercraft.
It only shows that our cutscene are just done in the
Request
game
permission
engine.
to join your network in order to provide assistance in better coordination. Over.
And that's about it for the Prologue gameplay.
Yeah.
Look, no saves.
Okay. What in full version?
Yeah, what features will appear in the full version?
Okay, so here we go. First things first, the simulation. This is something that is important to me to get right. Like I said, if you played the demo maybe half a year ago, then you can see that we made a pretty bold decision to take this game in a new direction shortly before Prologue. In the demo, you had drone scanning and finding things for you to repair, and then your job was to put the things apart, fix whatever parts were broken and put them back in. This was pretty solid gameplay, but we felt like it doesn't have enough depth, it doesn't have enough replayability maybe. So our new vision of the game is to extend this mechanical repairs also with electric repairs, which is what you can already see in the Prologue. Replace the drone telling you what to repair with your own diagnostic tools. That's why we have infrared camera for some basic diagnostics of fluids, mechanical parts, and the smart meter for diagnosing simple electric currents, and the palm top to work with the programmable devices. And I think this is enough of a tool set. We might think of some additional tools in the future, but we don't want to overdo it at the same time. There's enough things that has to be put in place for this game to reach its full potential. So first of all, the simulations, like I said. What we want to have is proper propagation of electric currents. When you have some input of controller producing some signal, that signals go somewhere, activate some things, it's needed for something. And that's why you're gonna need schematics. When we introduce simulation and schematics, you will have a tool to do diagnosis using all the metering devices that you have. So that's one part. Another part, which would be very cool, but we have not yet decided if we're gonna put it in, is to make those elements that you have in a shuttle, in a base, to actually have a function shuttle-wide or base-wide, that something is needed for the base communications to actually work, something is needed for the shuttle engines to work, so that those assets that you see in the game will actually come to life. That will be great, but this is not something that we are yet committed to. For now, we want to focus on the simulations of individual parts, individual elements, get that part right. And we would like to fix some things about the infrared imaging. For now, the objects all have zero temperature and only some objects produce heat. We would like to introduce something like different materials getting heat and propagating this heat. Don't expect this to be a very, very realistic heat propagation, because that would be pretty much like ray tracing. So pretty complex, but definitely something a bit more than we have at this point. Then another thing, once we have this in place, we want to have this light sensing system that you can see in the hub actually active. So you will progress to the game, gaining new skills at much slower pace, because right now in 5 missions of the Prologue you are learning to work with programmable devices, with electric wires, switches, to turn some valves, unscrew bolts and screws, and at some point you are trying to slow down, maybe think it would be better if you would just introduce to one thing, but that one thing would have more depth. Then you move to another stage of progression to the game, you learn new things at a bit slower pace, that the game wouldn't feel like one big tutorial that is trying to guide you through everything by hand. Give you a bit more freedom to diagnose and check things on your own. And that's where we want to go with this game. Now, with tutorial it was a bit of difficult choice, because We want to show as much of gameplay that we are working on. At the same time, not overwhelm players with too much things to learn. So we ended up with things Prologue that feels like kind of a tutorial that guides the player. It is good. It will help you get through the game, experience it, try those diagnosing tools, but you will not get into a real diagnostic work with them, not yet. So this is the part of the simulation that we want to develop. This is one of the major features we want to focus on. The second thing is what we described in the before, like kind of a sandbox mode. The game right now takes you to 5 missions in the prologue, which are part of the scenario. But what we want is to have a player look in his personal hub, manage his missions, look what tasks are available for repairs, how much money he can make. So a little bit of economy, a little bit of management. You will be picking missions you want to continue, and the storyline missions which progress the storyline will be among those we can pick. You pick a storyline missions, you might not know it, but you pick a storyline missions and some things happen in there that progress the storyline. And some storyline missions might actually require you to have certain license to progress, so you'll have to spend some time doing certain work and develop yourself as a player and as a character in a game. And then you progress with the scenario. So it will be like, for comparison, like you've seen many games that have a main storylines and then a lot of side quests. Instead of side quests, in our case, those will be the missions, the repair missions that some corporation wants you to do because something is somewhere broken. And you do them because you can gather resources, can make money with them, which allows you to progress further to the game. So that's another big feature we want to develop. Have this game follow a storyline, but yet have some freedom inside it to do repairs, go on missions, pick the missions, and basically develop your own workshop. And the third thing, I believe it's expanding on the content we have. Creating new locations. We already have some that we work on. You've seen how much the Mars has changed since the previous public releases. So the exploration part of it, getting access to more and more of the solar system as you are capable of traveling more distances, that will be also interesting thing to do.
Okay, sound good.
Okay, in other words, guys, the game will be bigger, better and more fun.
Yeah, and remember, add full version to wishlist.
Yeah, remember to add the full version to the wishlist.
It's important.
We encourage you to leave your feedback on our Steam or on our Discord channels. So don't hesitate to visit us. We will answer any questions as well on Discord and on our other social medias. So guys,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the stream. Hope you had hope you spent a very good time listening about our game, about our struggles with Ash. We hope you will try it yourself and send us some feedback. We are eager to hear and to read comments from you. So that's it from us for today. Thank you very much once again for being here. Guys, any last words?
Thanks.
Yeah, so thank you guys and see you soon.
See ya.
I'm always
Bye.
eager for feedback.
Yeah, bye.